The air inside the galactic arena was heavy with noise, light, and heat. A million eyes from every corner of the galaxy focused on the glowing pit in the center. This was no place for the weak. Fighters had died here for sport, pride, and power, and now something strange was happening. The crowd fell into confused whispers as a small gate opened at the far side of the arena. Out walked a human. He was alone. No armor, no weapons. Just a plain black shirt, dusty boots, and quiet eyes. His name was Reed Carter, but no one here knew that name. Not yet. From the royal box above, an eight-eyed alien barked a laugh. "Is this a joke?" it growled. "A human? Against our champion?" The announcer, a spider-like being with golden fangs, paused before speaking into the arena's sound system. "Honored guests," it hissed. "Today we witness something rare. A species from Sector 92 Earth has entered the arena. This human will face our reigning champion, Brak the Bone Crusher of Tholax." The crowd erupted into roars of laughter and howls of excitement. Reed didn't react. He stood still in the sand, breathing slowly. His eyes were fixed on the massive metal gate across the pit. It opened with a thunderous boom. Brak stepped out, 12 feet tall, covered in red-scaled armor. His arms were thicker than tree trunks, and in one hand he held a spiked hammer. That had ended hundreds of lives. "Let's make this quick," Brak snarled. "I don't kill insects slowly." Still, Reed said nothing. From a control room deep below, 2 council members watched the screen. "This human has no record," one of them whispered. "No known fighting history, no augmentations." "Why? Would a planet send a civilian into this?" The other replied. "He volunteered," the first said. "No threats, no payment. Just one request. Let me fight." Back in the arena, Brak charged. The ground shook with each step. The crowd roared, eager to see the human crushed. Reed didn't move. Not until Brak raised his hammer. Then he stepped forward, 1 step. That's all, before the aliens. Hammer could fall. Reed leaned in and swung a single punch. His fist connected with Brak chest. What followed wasn't sound but silence. Brak froze. His eyes went wide. The hammer slipped from his hand. He stumbled back, then collapsed. Like a mountain crumbling into the sea. Dust rose. For a moment, no one moved. No one cheered. No one even breathed. The silence spread through the arena like a wave. Across space, on screens in alien cities, the moment replayed again and again. 1 punch. 1 fall. The announcer finally broke the silence. Winner. Human. Reed Carter. The crowd didn't cheer. Not yet. They didn't know how to react. From the royal box, the eight-eyed alien rose. "This is a trick," it shouted. "He cheated," Reed finally spoke. His voice was calm and quiet, but every microphone picked it up. "No trick. Just physics." Then he turned and walked away from the body, his boots crunching softly on the sand. 3 floors below, in the council observation deck, the room was filled with tension. "Play that back. Slow motion. 10 times. Screens showed the punch from every angle. Reed had no hidden weapon, no tech implants, no energy boost. Just muscle, technique, timing. "This is impossible," the blue-skinned analyst said. "Humans are ranked level 2 on the strength scale. Brak was level 6. He shouldn't even be able to make him flinch." "And yet," the older counselor said, eyes narrowed, "he did." Back in the arena's holding cells, a small alien creature with 3 arms brought Reed water. "You ... You are strong," the creature said nervously. Reed took the water, nodded. "Thanks. You ... Want to fight again?" it asked. "Tomorrow?" Reed looked up. "I want to fight until the message is clear." "Message?" The creature blinked. "Earth isn't weak," Reed said. "And we're done being ignored." In the shadows of a distant war chamber, a group of powerful alien warlords gathered. They had watched the fight. Their faces were stone. "This cannot continue," one hissed. "The arena is a symbol of power. If a human can defeat our champion in one blow, what happens to that power?" Another nodded. "Send our best next. A beast from the Death Moons. Let's see if the human survives that." Meanwhile on Earth, no one knew what had happened. The planet was quiet, unaware that one of their own had changed everything. A young intern at a space relay station picked up an unknown signal. It showed a grainy image of Reed's punch. "Hey, boss?" the intern called. "What is it?" "I think you need to see this." The next day, the arena was packed again. Bigger crowd, higher bets, more cameras. Aliens from 10 systems came just to see what would happen next. Reed stood in the pit again, his eyes calm. Across from him, a towering 4-armed creature with claws stepped out. It roared and pounded its chest. This time no one laughed. The announcer hesitated, then said, "Round 2 begins." The beast charged. Reed didn't move at first. Then, just as the alien swung, he ducked and swept its legs. The creature fell hard. Reed stepped over and placed a hand gently on the beast's chest. "I don't want to kill you," he said softly. "I just want your leaders to understand." The creature looked up, confused. "Understand what?" "We've been watching." Reed said, "We've learned, we've grown, and now we're here." Then he stepped away. The creature stayed down. The crowd, unsure how to react, began to clap, then cheer, then roar. This time, it wasn't mockery. It was respect, deep in. A council chamber, an alarm sounded. "New data incoming from Earth," a voice said. A file opened. Footage of wars, human combat training, extreme survival environments. The council leader leaned back. "We made a mistake," he whispered. "What mistake?" The others asked. "We thought Earth was quiet because they were weak. But they were. Quiet because they were getting ready." Reed sat alone in his cell that night, staring at the wall. A small speaker clicked on. A voice spoke. "You surprised everyone." Reed didn't answer. "Who trained you?" The voice asked. Reed replied. "Earth did." Silence. Then, "You're not supposed to be in the arena. Humans weren't approved." "I didn't wait for approval," Reed said. "I volunteered." A long pause. Then the voice said, "You're making enemies." Reed stood, stretched and smiled. "Good." The speaker clicked off. Outside the chamber, 2 guards looked at each other. "Should we be afraid of him?" One asked. The other didn't answer, because deep down, he already knew the answer. The alien crowd waited, breathless. Last time the human ended the fight with one punch. No one saw it coming. But now, the galaxy was watching closely. Billions of beings across 100 planets tuned in. Would it happen again? Reed Carter stood, alone in the arena, arms folded, eyes calmed out above him. The alien announcer tried to keep its voice steady. "The next challenger is Vrexel, Master of Flame," the human faces. A walking inferno. The ground began to rumble. A gate slid open, and smoke poured out. Then came the sound of metal scraping metal. Vrexel stepped through. He looked like a living furnace 8 feet tall, body covered in burning armor, flames dripping from his fists like liquid fire. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. A whisper ran through the crowd. "This one doesn't fall with one punch." In the council tower high above, the members watched the screen with cold eyes. "This match is different," said one elder. "This is no brute. Vrexel is smart. He studies his targets." "He won't rush like Brock there," another replied. "He'll make the human dance before burning him." They leaned forward. "If the human wins again, the silence will be permanent." In the pit, the match began. A bell rang. Vrexel didn't charge. He circled Reed, fire burning hotter with each step. The sand beneath him turned to glass. His voice was deep and echoing. "You don't belong here." Reed didn't. Move, you are flesh. I am flame, Vrexel hissed. You broke the arena's pride. I will erase your name. Still, Reed stayed quiet. The crowd leaned in. Then Vrexel launched forward. Not with fists, but with fire. Flames exploded across the pit, covering the human in a storm of heat. The glass cracked. The stands trembled. Is he? Someone began to shout. The fire faded. Reed stood in the center. Untouched. Not a burn. Not a scratch. Vrexel paused, stunned. Reed looked up. You talk too much. Then he ran forward. Not fast, not slow. Just enough. And he didn't punch. This time he kicked. Clean, short strike to the side of Vrexel's chest. There was no noise, no fire. Just impact. Vrexel flew backward, smashed into the wall, and slumped down. His flames flickered, then went out. The arena was silent again, for the second time. This time, the crowd didn't know what to do. Some gasped. Others stared. Even the announcer struggled. The winner, again. Human, Reed Carter. No one laughed now. Children clung to their parents. Warlords clenched their fists. Broadcasters whispered, "What is happening?" Reed walked away from the fire-blackened pit, calm as ever. As he left, he said something, just loud enough for the cameras to catch. "I didn't come here to kill. I came to wake you up." In a back chamber, council agents reviewed slow-motion footage again. "He did it again," one said. "A perfect strike. But he's not just strong, he knew where to hit. How hard? He's a technician." "Where did he learn that?" Another asked. One voice from the back replied, "Earth." On a dark moon orbiting the arena, a small alien sat in front of a terminal. It wore glasses and had a nervous twitch in its hands. It wasn't a warrior or a fighter. It was a signal analyst. It stared at something strange. Human bio readings during the match. "This doesn't make sense," it whispered. Reed's heart rate during the fire blast. Normal. No panic. No stress. No fear. The analyst tapped the screen. "What are you?" Back on Earth, in a quiet government bunker, alarms went off. A general rushed into a room. "We've been spotted," he said. A young officer looked up. "You mean Carter?" The general nodded. "Alien networks have pulled all human combat footage. Our martial arts, war logs, simulations, everything." Another officer frowned. "You think they're scared?" "No," the general said slowly. "They're trying to understand what's coming." That night, in a cold arena cell, Reed sat alone. A small screen blinked on. The voice again, "You're drawing attention." Reed didn't answer. "Tomorrow, they're not sending a warrior," the voice continued. "They're sending a scientist. With weapons you've never seen." Reed leaned back, arms behind his head. "Let them," he said. "I'm not here to win medals." "Then why are you here?" Reed looked at the camera, voice low and steady. "To remind the galaxy what humans are made of." The screen went dark. Far above, in the war rooms of a dying empire, alien kings gathered. "He should not exist," one hissed. "He must be stopped." Another growled. A third, older and wiser, shook his head. "He cannot be stopped. Not by strength, not by flame. He's not just muscle." "Then what is he?" someone asked. The old one stared at the screen, where Reed's calm face appeared again and again. "He's the explosion we never saw coming." The Galactic Council met in silence. 12 leaders, 12 species, all seated in the black glass chamber, orbiting the twin suns of Sector 0. These beings rarely agreed on anything. But today, they were united by one name. Reed Carter. Human. A species once ignored, now feared. Each council member had watched the fights, the punch, the fire, the silence. It wasn't just strength. It wasn't just speed. It was control. High Lord Vernax, leader of the Iron Claws of Krog, slammed his fist on the glowing table. "We sent a war beast. He fell. We sent fire. He fell. This human, He is not normal. He's not a soldier, hissed Counselor Check, her tongue flicking nervously. He doesn't fight for glory. He doesn't even smile when he wins. He fights with purpose, whispered the cold-eyed Zern of the Mindcast. And that, Zern added, is more dangerous than strength. In the arena, Reed sat on the floor of his cell, cross-legged. A small alien cleaner swept outside the bars, too scared to speak. But Reed noticed the way the creature's hands shook. You don't need to be afraid, Reed said softly. The alien looked up surprised. I'm not a fighter. Neither am I, Reed replied. The cleaner blinked. But you've beaten monsters, firewalkers, machines. Reed looked at his own hands. I didn't beat them because I'm a monster. I beat them because I'm human. He stood up slowly, and they forgot what that means. In a secret room deep within the council base, a group of silent watchers played old Earth footage. They saw wars, explosions, survival stories. Boxers, wrestlers, samurai, marines. Children learning discipline. Soldiers losing friends. Families rebuilding broken cities. A young alien researcher frowned. These humans, they don't just fight to win. No, his mentor said. They fight because they have to, and they survive. The room went quiet. Every time they're pushed, the elder continued, they become stronger. In the arena's central tower, a private message blinked on the warlord's screen. Sender, unknown origin message. Stop Reed Carter, or Earth will rise. Attached was a single video clip, Reed standing still while fire raged around him, completely. Untouched. The warlord leaned back in his chair and muttered, "Send in the machine." Back in the arena, a new announcement shook the air. Tomorrow's challenger is not made of blood. It is not born. It cannot feel. It cannot fear. The crowd murmured. Reed simply nodded. He already knew. That night, cameras across the galaxy showed a quiet moment. Reed sitting at a table, eating a simple meal, alone. He didn't speak to reporters. He didn't answer fan messages. He simply wrote something in a notebook with a small pen. A phrase. They thought we were soft. They forgot we came from pain. The next morning, the arena was packed again, but something was different. The audience wasn't cheering. They were watching carefully, some with hope, some with fear. But no one was laughing anymore, not after what the human had done. In the council chamber, someone finally asked the question everyone feared. What if this is not just one human? They all turned to look. What if Earth is more like him? Slow pause filled the room. Then Zern whispered, "Then we've already lost." Long before the arena. Before the galaxy laughed at humans. Before one punch silenced the stars. There was Project Titan, hidden deep under the Rocky Mountains, inside a facility that didn't officially exist. The United Human Alliance built something strange. It wasn't a weapon, not a robot, not a nuke. It was a person, not created, not born in a lab. Chosen. Tested. Forged. Reed Carter had been a soldier, yes, but that's not why they picked him. He had lost everything and survived. A father gone to war, a sister taken by disease, a home drowned in flood. And yet he stood tall. They put him through tests, pain, cold, isolation, heat, starvation. He adapted. Each time, he learned not to fight. To end fights. To stop chaos before it started. Back in the arena now, Reed stretched his arms slowly. He wasn't thinking about the crowd, or the cameras, or the millions watching. He was remembering his final test back on Earth. His mentor, Dr. Alina Vaughn, had stared at him through the thick glass of the training room. "You were never meant to be a warrior, Reed," she had said. "You were meant to be a wall." "A wall?" he had asked. "Yes," she said. "Something the galaxy crashes against and breaks." In a dark alien bunker, warlords examined the classified file they stole from a human satellite. They had decrypted just one page. Project Titan Log 47A. Subject: Reed Carter Psychological Profile. Resilience beyond measure. Physical profile. Peak adaptability. Directive: Contain. Deploy only if Earth faces extinction-level event. One alien hissed, "Then why is he in the arena?" Another answered, "Because Earth didn't send him to fight. They sent him to warn us." Reed's next challenger was ready. Not flesh, not fire, but steel. The doors opened. From the smoke emerged a mechanical beast, 20 feet tall, spinning saws, laser eyes. A brain that ran on quantum predictions. It had no face, no voice, just programming. Its name was DOZER-9. Designed by alien AI to destroy any organic enemy in seconds. No mercy. No emotion. The announcer whispered, "Afraid. Tonight. The human faces extinction." Reed looked up at the metal beast. He didn't blink. He didn't run. He simply said, "You're not alive. You can't learn." And with that, the match began. The machine launched forward with impossible speed. Blades sliced air. Lasers cracked sand. Reed dodged once, twice, then slid under its legs. No attack yet. Just watching. Measuring. He wasn't fighting the machine. He was reading it. Within 30 seconds, he knew its pattern, and then he struck. A single punch. Not to the chest, not the head. To the back ankle joint, the control pivot. The machine stumbled. Reed jumped high, faster than the cameras could follow. He landed on top of Dozer 9's back. One strike to the spine. Core. Boom. The lights dimmed. Machine collapsed. The arena gasped. From the council tower, screams erupted. He found the weak point in under a minute. He didn't just beat it. He dissected it. He is not just a fighter, he is a student of war. Reed walked away again. No smile. No celebration. He looked up into the camera and spoke 4 words. "This isn't a game." On Earth, Dr. Alina Vaughn stood alone in the control center of the long-abandoned Project Titan base. The lights flickered on. The cameras returned. She stared at the screen, at the man they all thought would never leave Earth, and she whispered to herself, "You were supposed to be our last hope." Then she turned and saw the message blinking on her console. Message from Reed Carter. Subject line: "They're not ready." All eyes turned to Earth. The galaxy was awake. Billions had seen the human win again. One by one, he took down fire, flesh, and steel, not with hate, not with anger. With calm, precision. Every species with a military watched the replays. Every empire that once mocked humans now watched them with quiet fear. And finally, they looked at Earth. In the skies over Europe, 20 alien satellites changed course. They weren't there for science anymore. They were watching cities, studying factories, measuring temperatures and energy used. One alien commander said coldly, "Find out how many more there are." In the galactic arena, a reporter from Varnax News tried to speak over the noise. "Behind me," she said, "is the chamber where the human known as Reed Carter rests. Some are calling him the human fist. Others call him the wall of Earth. But everyone is asking, what else is hiding on that blue planet?" The camera turned to the crowd. Alien children wore paper fists on their arms. Some cheered, "Reed." Others watched in silence. The arena wasn't just a show anymore. It was a warning. Inside the council dome, a secret meeting took place. A large alien slammed its claws on the table. "We cannot let Earth rise. They've already risen." Another replied, "They've sent one man." "Yes," the first hissed, "and he's winning. What if they send 100? Everyone went quiet. Then a new voice spoke, calm, cold. "They won't send 100. Not yet." It was Counselor Zern. "But the people are watching, and if Earth gains favor, they could lead," another whispered. "They could unite the weak systems." The council stared at the screen showing Earth spinning silently in space. So quiet, so small, so full of danger. Back on Earth, Inside a military base in Nevada, General Riker barked orders. Scramble satellites. Encrypt all. Outbound signals. We've got eyes on us. A young officer looked up. Sir. The public wants answers. They're seeing alien news feeds. They know about the arena. Riker sighed. Then give them one answer, he said. Tell them Reed's alive. And he's doing what no one else could. In the arena locker room, Reed sat on a bench, breathing. His next opponent was different. Not a warrior, a mind, a creature made of energy and thought. It didn't fight with fists. It broke wills. As he waited, a young alien approached. A fan, sir, the child said in broken English. Are all humans like you? Reed looked down. No, he said. Most are better. The child blinked. But you're the strongest. Reed smiled faintly. Strength isn't just fists, he said. It's what you do when you're afraid, and you still stand. The child ran off, smiling. Reed stood up and walked into the light. This time, the announcer spoke in a quiet voice. Reed Carter will face a new test virus, the mind. Void, it has no body, no fear, and it has never lost. The crowd was silent. Reed stepped into the arena. The doors didn't open. Instead, a beam of purple light hit the ground in front of him. The air grew heavy. Then came the whisper. You do not belong. The voice said inside his mind. You are meat. I am memory. Reed closed his eyes. Then you already lost. And the battle began. Outside, no one saw fists. They saw a man freeze in place. They saw blood drip from his nose. Reed stood still for 10 seconds, then 20. Then 40. Until finally he opened his eyes and whispered, I've known real pain. You're just noise. He stepped forward once, and the light vanished. Vrex, X was gone. The announcer, shaking, declared, Reed wins again. That night, all 12 council members stood before a single image. Earth. Not burning. Not attacking. Just waiting. And they realized the war hadn't begun yet, but Earth was ready. He fought with more than muscle. The arena felt colder today. The alien crowd didn't scream like before. They didn't laugh. They watched. Silent. Tense. Because this time, they thought maybe the human would fall. Reed Carter sat on the bench. In his waiting chamber, he rubbed his hands together slowly. No fear in his face, but something new, calm focus. His next opponent wasn't alive. It wasn't made of fire or metal or thought. It was perfect math. An FI champion called Zereth K, forged by 10 alien species. It moved faster than sound, predicted attacks before they happened. Never lost. In the council tower, Zern spoke to the others. This match will end the myth, he said. Which myth? Another asked. Zern's eyes narrowed. That humans are untouchable. The crowd held their breath as Zereth K appeared, hovering above the pit. Its smooth, silver body shimmered. Its voice was cold. Reed Carter. Your path ends here. Reed didn't answer. The arena bell rang. Zereth K struck first. Fast. A blur of motion. Reed ducked, but too late. A sharp blow to his ribs. Another to his back. He dropped to one knee. The crowd gasped. Blood on the sand. For the first time, the human was hurt. In a military base on Earth, the feed showed Reed clutching his side. A young lieutenant whispered, Pull him out. General Riker shook his head. If we pull him now, Earth looks afraid. But Riker's voice was hard. He's not done. Zereth K floated above Reed, arms ready. You are not fast enough, it said. Not strong enough. Not perfect enough. Reed coughed, wiped blood from his mouth. Then, smiled. You're right, he said. I'm not perfect. He stood up slow. I make mistakes. He took a breath. But I learned from everyone. The next strike came. Reed dodged. Exactly 1 inch to the left. The next he caught, twisted, slipped behind. Zeroth K stuttered for a moment. Its predictions missed. Its programming couldn't adapt. Reed could. 2 moves later, he brought down the AI with a simple, brutal takedown. 1 arm around the neck, 1 knee to the spine joint. The machine collapsed. Sparks flew. The arena lit up, but Reed didn't raise his arms. He limped away, bleeding, victorious but human. The crowd didn't cheer. They stood in silence for the man who had finally shown weakness and still stood up. Later, in the med chamber, an alien nurse whispered to another, "He could have died." "But he didn't," the other said. "Why?" "Because he's not just fighting to win." In a dark war room, a council leader whispered, "He adapts, he bleeds, he learns. Every match." Another added, "He's not a weapon. He's a message." In his recovery cell, Reed finally took a call from Earth. Dr. Elena Vaughn's voice came through. "You okay?" Reed didn't answer at first. Then he said, "I hurt, but I'm alive. You don't have to keep going." "Yes," he said. "I do. Why?" Reed looked at the arena camera glowing red. "Because the galaxy doesn't fear our strength yet." He stood, body aching. 1 fight left. 1 final wall. Then silence. The one who couldn't be beaten. The arena was full, every seat, every screen, every channel. Even the coldest warlords leaned forward. Because today, the human was facing his final opponent, Krolax, a name spoken in fear, a fighter made from stone, muscle, and science. No nerves, no emotions. His body had been rebuilt to erase pain. He never cried, never flinched, never fell. Reed Carter stood at the gate. His ribs still hurt. His knuckles were cracked, but his eyes were clear. He whispered to himself, "This ends today." Above, the announcer sounded tired, afraid. "Today, the human fist meets the galaxy's wall." The gates opened. Krolax stepped into the sand. 10 feet tall. Black armor fused to his skin. His eyes were dead. His fists sharp. Didn't speak. He didn't need to. His record spoke for him. 142 matches. 142 wins. No injuries. And now, 1 human stood in front of him. The bell rang. Krolax moved fast like a falling mountain. Reed dodged. Once. Twice. Then caught a punch to the chest. Cracked. He stumbled. Blood from his mouth. The crowd gasped. Krolax didn't stop. Another blow. And another. Reed fell. Silence. In Earth's war room, screens went blank. A soldier panicked. "We lost the feed." "No," General Riker said quietly. "It's not over." Back in the arena, Krolax stood over Reed. "You are broken," he said flatly. Reed looked up, face swollen, hands shaking. Then he smiled. "You don't feel pain, do you?" "No," Krolax said. "Then you don't understand why I'm still fighting." Reed rose. His knees buckled. His left eye swollen. Still he stood. "Pain teaches. Pain warns. Pain guides." He said, "You can't win this fight. Because you don't know when you've already lost." The next moment changed everything. Reed didn't aim for power. He aimed for pressure points, muscle memory. Weak joints. He moved like water fast, quiet, deadly. Krolax landed punches. But Reed didn't stop. He adapted. He adjusted. He attacked. Where the armor bent, where the joints moved, where the body, even numb, still had limits. 1 blow to the knee. 1 elbow to the throat. 1 final spin behind the neck, and Krolax fell forward. Face first. Unconscious. The arena went dead silent. Then slowly cheering began. First soft. Then louder. Roaring. Aliens who once laughed at humans now stood in awe. Reed Carter didn't raise his arms. He knelt, breathing, bleeding. Alive. Counselor Zern watched the screen and whispered, "He didn't just beat the unbeaten. He proved that pain is power." On Earth, soldiers saluted. Children cheered. The president stood before the world and said, "We were mocked, ignored, feared, but now they know what it means to be human." In the arena chamber, Reed sat alone. The voice returned on the speaker. "You did it." "No," he said. "We did it." One match remained, but it wouldn't be physical. It would be a choice, and the whole galaxy would listen. The arena was quiet. No new challenger. No fire. No machines. No monsters. Just a microphone in the center of the sand, and one human walking toward it. His body still hurt. His arms hung heavy. But his steps were steady. Across the galaxy, billions watched. Not just warriors, now leaders, scientists, rebels, children, because Reed Carter had already won the final fight. Now, they wanted to know, why did he come here? He stood in the center, looked up at the crowd, and spoke. His voice wasn't loud, but it didn't need to be. The whole galaxy leaned in. "I didn't come here to conquer you. I didn't come here to show off. I came here to speak. Because for years, you looked at Earth and saw nothing." In a distant empire, an alien queen leaned forward. On a warship in orbit, a cyborg general paused his weapons test. On a frozen moon, a child pulled off his headphones. Reed continued. "You saw our chaos. Our wars. Our emotions. And you laughed. You thought we were weak because we feel too much. Because we fight each other. Because we get angry. Because we cry." He took a breath, then pointed at his chest. "But that's why we survive. Pain made us grow. Fear made us prepare. And love, yes. Love is why I'm still standing here." In the council tower, Zern slowly sat down, eyes wide. "This is not a speech," he whispered. "This is history." Reed raised his voice now. "You wanted a message? This is it. We didn't come to join your games. We came to show you. We are done sitting in the shadows. Earth is awake now. And when we rise, we won't rise alone." The screen behind him lit up. Images of Earth, but not bombs. Not soldiers. People. Mothers. Teachers. Farmers. Students. Inventors. Black, white, brown, old, young. United. Reed spoke one last time. "If we're strong, it's because of what we carry, not in our fists. In our hearts." Then he turned and walked away. The arena didn't explode in applause. It stood in silence. Sacred silence. A silence that only comes after something true has been spoken. Back on Earth, General Riker whispered, "He didn't win the arena." Dr. Vaughn nodded. "He changed it." In a cold galaxy full of conquerors, for the first time, they saw humanity not as a joke, not as a danger, but as a rising force, with something worth listening to, and the name Reed Carter became a legend, not because of the punches, but because of the truth behind them. The end.